Pio drove faster than he had in years. Every traffic light felt like an obstacle. Every minute stretched into an eternity. By the time he reached his corporate office, Kelvin was already waiting with a sealed envelope in his hand. "I didn't want to send it electronically," Kelvin said quietly. Pio took the envelope without speaking. His fingers trembled as he broke the seal. Inside was a copy of the hotel's internal incident report. He scanned the first page. The report confirmed that Sarah had left the hotel in distress early that morning. Several staff members had noticed she was crying. One supervisor had asked if she wanted medical help, but she declined and resigned immediately before leaving. Pio's breathing became shallow. He turned to the last page. His own name appeared several times. He closed the file. "I don't remember most of that night." Kelvin spoke gently. "I know. But not remembering doesn't erase what happened." "No." Pio lowered his head. "It doesn't." For a long moment, neither man spoke. Finally, Pio broke the silence. "I spent years hoping I had misunderstood what happened." Kelvin looked at him. "And now?" Pio's voice cracked. "Now I know I didn't." He placed the report back into the envelope. "I'm responsible." Kelvin nodded slowly. "What do you want to do?" Pio answered without hesitation. "I owe Sarah an apology." Kelvin hesitated. "An apology may not be enough." "I know. You may never receive forgiveness." "I know. You may never even be allowed near the boy." Pio swallowed hard. "I know. But hiding from the truth won't change anything." Meanwhile, Sarah was preparing dinner when someone knocked on the apartment door. She froze. Her aunt looked toward her. "Were you expecting anyone?" Sarah slowly shook her head. The knock came again. This time, louder. Her aunt walked toward the door. "Who is it?" "It's the landlord." She opened the door. The landlord smiled awkwardly. "Sorry to disturb you. Is everything all right?" "I just came to remind everyone that rent is due next week." Sarah let out a breath she hadn't realized she was holding. "We'll pay on time." "I know you always do." He smiled at David. "And how's my little football star?" David grinned. "I'm going to play for Nigeria one day." "I believe you." After the landlord left, Sarah laughed softly at herself. "I'm jumping at every knock now." Her aunt squeezed her shoulder. "You're afraid." "I don't want him showing up here." The following morning, Pio made a decision. "I'm going to see her." Kelvin looked up from his notebook. "Are you sure?" "I'm not going to force a conversation." "And if she asks you to leave?" "I'll leave." Kelvin nodded. "Then I'll drive." "No. I need to do this myself." At the restaurant, lunch hour was just ending when a sleek black SUV stopped across the street. Several employees looked through the window. "Who owns that car?" "It looks expensive." Sarah didn't bother looking. She continued wiping a table. Then one of the waitresses whispered, "Sarah." She looked up. The waitress pointed toward the entrance. Her heart nearly stopped. Pio had just stepped inside. The entire restaurant fell silent. The manager approached him politely. "Good afternoon, sir." "I'm looking for Sarah." The manager glanced toward her. Sarah slowly stood. Every muscle in her body tensed. "I'll talk to him." She walked toward the entrance. When she stood a few feet away, neither of them spoke. Finally, Pio broke the silence. "I won't stay long." Sarah folded her arms. "You shouldn't have come." "I know." "Then why are you here?" He looked directly at her. "To apologize." She laughed bitterly. 7 years later? "I searched for you. I didn't want to be found." "I know that now." "You should have known it then." Several customers quietly watched from their tables. Pio noticed them. "Can we speak somewhere private?" "No. You don't owe me privacy." She held his gaze. "Say whatever you came to say." He nodded slowly. "I'm sorry." Sarah didn't react. I know those words can't undo what happened. No, they can't. I know I caused you pain that has lasted for years. She finally spoke. Pain? Her voice rose. You call it pain? The restaurant became completely silent. I lost my job. My future. My sense of safety. I spent years waking up terrified. She stepped closer. You don't get to summarize that with one word. P.O. lowered his eyes. You're right. I don't expect forgiveness. You'll never have it. I understand. No. She shook her head. You don't. Tears filled her eyes. You went back to your life. I had to learn how to survive. The words struck him harder than any insult could. He whispered. I know. No. She pointed toward the door. You know because you read reports. I lived it. For several moments, neither spoke. Then P.O. asked quietly. Is David my son? Sarah closed her eyes. She had known the question was coming. When she opened them again, she answered honestly. Yes. The single word hit P.O. like a wave. He struggled to breathe. His voice failed. He's 7. Sarah nodded. He deserves better than secrets. She looked at him carefully. He deserves peace. I agree. He also deserves the truth. She studied his face, searching for any sign of manipulation. Instead, she saw only grief. I won't keep him from knowing who his father is. P.O. looked up hopefully. But... Her tone hardened. That doesn't mean you get to walk into his life. His expression fell. You have no right to demand anything. I know. If David meets you, it will happen because it's best for him. Not because it's what you want. P.O. nodded. I accept that. She continued. And if at any point he says he doesn't want a relationship with you, I'll respect his choice. She stared at him for several seconds. For the first time since seeing him again, she believed he meant what he said. Just then, the restaurant door burst open. Mommy. David ran inside carrying a school certificate. I came to show you my... He stopped abruptly. His eyes landed on P.O. A wide smile spread across his face. Daddy. Before Sarah could react, David ran straight toward him. David threw his arms around P.O. before anyone could stop him. The restaurant fell silent. P.O. froze. For a moment, he didn't know what to do. Then, carefully, he knelt so he wouldn't tower over the little boy. Hi, he said softly. David beamed. I knew you would come back. Sarah instinctively stepped forward, but she stopped herself. Pulling David away immediately would only frighten him. P.O. looked up at her, silently asking for guidance. She gave a small nod. You can talk to him, she said. Just, don't make promises you can't keep. P.O. nodded. I won't. David looked from one adult to the other. Mommy isn't angry anymore? Sarah forced a gentle smile. Grown-ups are talking through something difficult. David frowned. Did Daddy make a mistake? The question landed like a stone. P.O. answered before Sarah could. Yes. David blinked. A big mistake? The biggest mistake of my life. The little boy studied his face with the blunt honesty only children possess. Did you say sorry? I did. Did Mommy forgive you? P.O. looked at Sarah. No. David seemed puzzled. But when I say sorry, Mommy forgives me. Sarah knelt beside him. Some mistakes hurt people for a very long time. Even if you say sorry? Yes. David was quiet for several seconds. Then he looked back at P.O. You have to keep saying sorry? P.O. shook his head. No. I have to keep doing what's right. Sarah noticed the answer. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. The restaurant manager walked over carefully. Sarah, should I give you some time? She nodded gratefully. Please. He turned the sign on the front door to closed and politely explained to the remaining customers that the restaurant would reopen later. David proudly held up his school certificate. "Look." P.O. accepted it carefully. "Excellent Performance Award." His face lit up despite the tension. "You must have worked very hard." "I came first in my class." "That's amazing." "I also scored 2 goals in football." P.O. smiled. "I can see why your grandmother called you a football star." David gasped. "You know Grandma?" Kelvin couldn't help smiling. "No, buddy. We just heard about you." David laughed. Sarah watched quietly. It was the first time she had seen genuine happiness on her son's face whenever the subject of his father came up. That realization hurt more than she expected. After a few minutes, she spoke. "David." "Yes, Mommy? Can you and Grandma wait outside for a little while?" He looked disappointed. "But I just found Daddy." "You'll see him again." She glanced at P.O. before adding carefully, "If that's what remains best for you." David looked at P.O. "Will you still be here?" P.O. answered honestly. "If your mom says it's okay." David nodded. "Okay." He hugged Sarah, waved enthusiastically at P.O., and walked outside holding his grandmother's hand. As soon as the door closed, the atmosphere changed completely. Sarah folded her arms. "What happens next?" P.O. took a slow breath. "Whatever you decide." "No." She shook her head. "Whatever is best for David." "I agree." "You keep saying that." "Because I mean it." Sarah looked at P.O. "Why didn't you simply move on?" P.O. answered quietly. "Because I couldn't. You had everything. I lost my peace." Sarah's expression hardened. "And I lost much more." "I know." "No." She looked directly into his eyes. "You know about your guilt. You don't know what it was like raising David while wondering how I'd answer his questions." She paused. "Every birthday. Every Father's Day celebration at school. Every time another child asked where his father was." Her voice broke. "I carried those conversations alone." P.O. lowered his head. "I can't change that." "No. But you can accept that you don't get to erase it by showing up now." "I do accept that." Sarah finally asked the question that had lingered in her mind. "What do you actually want?" P.O. answered immediately. "To take responsibility." "Meaning?" "I want to support David. We're surviving." "I know. I don't want your money." "I wasn't offering money instead of being a father." She studied him carefully. "What if David eventually wants a relationship with you?" "I'll be there." "And if he doesn't?" "I'll respect that." "And me?" He was silent for several moments. Finally he answered. "I don't expect anything from you. No friendship. No forgiveness. No second chance. I only hope that one day you'll believe I meant every word of my apology." Sarah didn't respond. She wasn't ready. Maybe she never would be. Outside, David sat on a bench swinging his legs. His grandmother smiled. So? What do you think of him?" David shrugged. He looked sad. She looked surprised. "Why do you say that?" His eyes. Children noticed things adults often overlooked. He smiled with his mouth. But not with his eyes. His grandmother gently rubbed his shoulder. "You're very observant. I think he wants to know me." She looked toward the restaurant window. "Maybe. Do you think Mommy will let him?" She sighed. "I think Mommy will do whatever she believes is safest for you." Inside, Sarah finally stood. "I need time." P.O. nodded immediately. "Take all the time you need. I'll contact you. I won't pressure you." She walked toward the door before stopping. Without turning around, she said quietly, "If David is going to know you." P.O. listened carefully. "It will happen slowly." He felt the first glimmer of hope he had experienced in 7 years. "Thank you." She didn't answer. She simply walked outside, took David's hand, and headed home. As they disappeared down the street, Kelvin looked at P.O. "What now?" P.O. watched until they were completely out of sight. "Now." He folded David's school certificate carefully before realizing it still rested in his hands. He smiled faintly. "I prove that I can be the father he deserves." Just then, his phone rang. The caller ID displayed an unfamiliar number. He answered. "Hello?" A calm male voice spoke. "Good afternoon, Mr. Okoye." "Yes?" "My name is Inspector Adewale." P.O.'s expression changed instantly. "I'm calling regarding an incident reported at the Grand Meridian Hotel 7 years ago." P.O. glanced at Kelvin. The inspector continued. "We need you to come in for an interview." Kelvin's face went pale. P.O. closed his eyes for a brief moment. He had spent years waiting to face the consequences of that night. It seemed they had finally arrived. P.O. ended the call without saying another word. Kelvin stared at him. What did they want? P.O. slipped the phone into his pocket. "The police." Kelvin's expression tightened. "About that night?" P.O. nodded. "They've reopened the file." For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Kelvin finally broke the silence. "Do you have a lawyer?" "I do." "Should I call him?" P.O. looked toward the door Sarah had walked through only moments earlier. "Yes. But tell him one thing." "What?" "I'm not running." Kelvin searched his employer's face. "You understand this could become public." "I understand. It could damage everything you've built." P.O. gave a bitter smile. "If what I built can't survive the truth, then it shouldn't survive." That evening, Sarah was helping David with his homework when her phone rang. The number was unfamiliar. She almost ignored it. "Hello? Good evening. Am I speaking with Miss Sarah?" "Who's asking?" "My name is Inspector Adewale." Sarah immediately stiffened. Yes. We'd like to speak with you regarding an incident that occurred 7 years ago." Her heartbeat quickened. She looked at David, who was quietly coloring at the table. "I can't talk right now." "I understand. We can arrange another time." Sarah hesitated. "Why now?" "We recently received additional information related to the case." "I never filed a case." "No. But there was an internal report from the hotel." Sarah closed her eyes. "So, what happens now?" "We'd simply like to hear your account." "We're not forcing you. The decision is yours." After ending the call, Sarah remained seated for several minutes. Her aunt noticed immediately. "Who was it?" Sarah answered quietly. "The police." Her aunt slowly sat beside her. "They finally called?" Sarah nodded. "I don't know what to do." Her aunt reached for her hand. "Whatever you decide. Make sure it's your decision. Not anyone else's." The next morning, newspapers and entertainment blogs exploded with rumors. Billionaire businessman questioned over 7-year-old hotel incident. Police revisit archived case. Charity mogul under investigation. Television stations began discussing the story. Nobody knew Sarah's identity. Nobody knew about David. But speculation spread rapidly. Inside P.O.'s company headquarters, directors crowded into the boardroom. One executive slammed a newspaper onto the table. "This is a disaster." Another shook his head. "Our investors are already calling." A third added, "The media is outside." The board chairman looked toward P.O. "We need a statement." P.O. remained calm. "There will be one." "When?" "After I've spoken with investigators." The room erupted. "You can't stay silent. Our stock is already dropping. Think about the company." P.O. raised his hand. The room became quiet. "For 7 years." He looked around the table. "I've carried something that none of you knew. If my silence protected me at someone else's expense." He paused. "Then it was wrong." One director stared at him. "Are you admitting guilt?" P.O. answered carefully. I'm saying I'll cooperate fully." The room fell silent again. Later that afternoon, Sarah arrived at the police station. She almost turned around twice before walking inside. An officer greeted her politely. "Miss Sarah?" "Yes." "This way." Inspector Adewale stood as she entered. "Thank you for coming." She remained standing. "I don't know how much I can say." "You only need to tell the truth." He offered her a seat. She sat. For the next hour, Sarah described everything she remembered from that night. She spoke slowly. Sometimes she stopped to compose herself. The inspector never interrupted. When she finished, the room was silent. "I'm sorry you went through that," he said quietly. Sarah lowered her eyes. "So, what now?" "We continued gathering information." "And Mr. Okoye?" "We'll also be interviewing him." She nodded. "Thank you." As she stood to leave, the inspector added, "Miss Sarah." She turned. "Whatever happens from here, your well-being and your son's well-being are important." Sarah's eyes widened. "You know about David?" "We became aware during the course of our inquiries." She swallowed hard. "Please. Keep his name out of the media. We'll do everything legally possible to protect his privacy." She nodded gratefully before leaving. Across town, P.O. arrived at the station through a side entrance to avoid reporters. Flashbulbs still exploded outside the gates. "Mr. Okoye, did you assault the hotel worker? Are the rumors true? Do you have a secret child?" He ignored every question. Inside the interview room, Inspector Adewale sat across from him. "Mr. Okoye." "Inspector. You understand why you're here?" "I do." "Tell me what you remember." P.O. was silent for several seconds. Then he answered. "I remember drinking far more than I ever should have. I remember fragments. I remember realizing, the following morning, that I had done something terrible." The inspector listened carefully. "What did you do afterward?" "I searched for Sarah." "Why?" "Because I wanted to apologize." "Did you find her?" "No. Until recently." The inspector made another note. "Have you had any contact since then?" "Yes." "What happened?" "I apologized." "And?" "She didn't forgive me." The inspector nodded slowly. "Did you expect her to?" "No." "Do you now know David is your biological son?" P.O. looked directly at him. "Yes." "What are your intentions?" "To be responsible." The inspector leaned back. "You understand that being a father and being accountable for past actions are separate issues." "I do." "And you'll cooperate with whatever legal process follows?" Without hesitation, P.O. answered. "Yes." That evening, David came home excited from football practice. "Mommy." Sarah forced a smile. "How was training?" "I scored 3 goals." "That's wonderful." He noticed her expression. "Are you okay?" She nodded. "I'm just tired." He sat beside her. "Can I ask you something?" "You can always ask." "Will Daddy come to my next match?" Sarah looked into her son's hopeful eyes. She realized that while she was trying to make sense of the past, David was already thinking about the future. She chose her words carefully. "I don't know yet." He nodded. "I hope he does." Sarah hugged him tightly. "I know." As she held her son, she realized the hardest decisions were still ahead, not about the past, but about what kind of future David would have. If you've been following this story, let us know in the comments. Should Sarah allow P.O. to slowly become part of David's life, or should she keep her distance? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the final emotional chapter. David's football match arrived sooner than anyone expected. The small community field was packed with parents cheering from the sidelines. Children ran across the pitch, laughing as they warmed up. Sarah sat quietly in the front row with her aunt. "You've barely said a word all morning," her aunt whispered. "I've been thinking." "About P.O.?" Sarah nodded. "About David." Just then, David ran over in his football jersey. "Mommy." She smiled. You look handsome. He grinned. Do you think Daddy will come? Sarah hesitated. I don't know. David nodded, trying not to look disappointed. It's okay. He ran back to join his teammates. A few minutes later, a familiar black SUV stopped outside the field. P.O. stepped out alone. No cameras. No security team. No reporters. Just him. He quietly walked to the edge of the spectators area instead of taking a front row seat. Sarah noticed him immediately. Their eyes met briefly. He didn't wave. He didn't approach. He simply stood where David could see him if he wanted to. When the referee blew the whistle, the game began. David played with incredible determination. Midway through the second half, he intercepted the ball, dribbled past 2 defenders, and scored the winning goal. The crowd erupted in applause. David looked toward the sidelines. His eyes found Sarah first. Then they found P.O. The little boy smiled from ear to ear. After the match, he ran toward them. I did it. Sarah hugged him tightly. I'm so proud of you. Then David turned to P.O. You came. P.O. smiled. I told your mom I would only come if it was all right. David hugged him. Thank you. P.O. returned the hug carefully. I'm proud of you too. David held up his medal. One day I'll play for Nigeria. P.O. chuckled. I'll be cheering for you. As they spoke, Sarah watched quietly. She noticed something important. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another emotional story. We'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Sarah made the right decision by allowing P.O. to be part of David's life while keeping clear boundaries? Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.